Chapter 7 Hurt and Healing. It's only a few days after the ward's malfunction when it continuously leads you and Atlas down to the blood out classroom. See? We're doing the wood challenge next, aren't we? That's correct. Why do you ask? Well, this is the blood out classroom. It was merely the fastest way to get us to the location of this challenge. But it's a dead end. Not quite. Continuously places their hand on a nearby wall, and the bricks suddenly pull away, revealing a hidden doorway. Stepping into the room, you're shocked by the sight that greets you. 2 stone carvings of elephant-like creatures with wings. Are these Dragsmar statues? Not statues. These are real Dragsmars. Oh my god, what happened to them? Were they cursed by someone? Or is it some kind of disease? You are partially right, Elijah. It looks like they were petrified, so it could have been a basilisk. But then, why hasn't anyone unpetrified them? And why were they hidden away in a secret chamber? I'm afraid these dry smallers were petrified for their own safety. The safety of their own, to their whole species, in fact. But why? I don't understand. A few decades ago, dry smallers began to fall ill from a serious disease called stone trunk. It began as clogging of the trunk, but resulted in a complete loss of motor control and out their trunks that couldn't feed themselves. And so they died out. All but 2 of them, but even they eventually fell ill. They were brought to panic gas in the hope that something here could save them. But when treatments failed, Dean Ways had them petrified. Preserving the species in hopes that someone would later be able to find a cure. That must have been a hard decision. Just give up looking for a solution. It is the kind of decision that those in power must sometimes make. To accept their own feelings and try to set a path to set tests for those who come to power in the future. Doesn't seem like he was too concerned about finding a cure if he hit the boy like this. Or he was trying to avoid having to constantly unpetrify them and just to try out new magical cures. That wouldn't be any kind of life for these creatures. This is your challenge. To cure one of these creatures of its disease. You want us to do something even a former demon Pendergast couldn't do? But what happens to the dry monsters if we fail? If either of you should take too long or the dry monster's condition worsens, then we petrify them to ensure their survival. The first continuously places a hand on each of the petrified dry monsters, and slowly the stone begins to shift the flesh. The creature sinks to the floor, breathing labored and foam forming at the end of their trunks. I'll now return to stairs, but please let me know if you require anything. As continuously transforms back into the crystal, Alice hurries over to one of the dry mines and immediately gets to work. Let's see what's going on. The other dry mine lets out a groan, and you kneel beside it, placing your hand on his snout as he struggles to keep his eyes open. Don't worry, I'm going to take care of you and get you all fixed up. Before that, I need to do some research. You find your friends in the dining room having lunch, where you quickly explain the latest challenge. I knew it! I knew this dry bar somewhere on campus. 2 of them, in fact. I can't believe they didn't actually go extinct. That there were still 2 of them, and under our very noses. While unless Elijah and Atlas can heal them, they officially are extinct. But if they do heal them, then they can repopulate, and we can see baby Dragsmars. Just imagine their tiny little chunks. Let's handle the healing part first. If you need advice, Elijah, perhaps the wooden and elders could help. They are masters of healing. I'll have to go back to the groove, especially now that it's open. Well, It's open most of the time. Right now, they're asking some names from another group visiting, so they haven't been letting anyone else in. So you're saying we shouldn't show up with a huge group of attend? That would be wise. But I'm sure if it's just the two of us, they wouldn't have a problem with it. So, are you sure they'll be willing to help? I know that your family all like me well enough, but these other nymphs hate a ton as much as your grove used to. I don't want to accept them. They have visitors in our home, so while they are due respect, they do not get to dictate our decisions. Besides, this is to save the life of not just an animal, but all animals like it. They will understand the importance of that. Well, if we're going to the Wood Nymph Grove, I'll head to the library and see what I can learn about Stone Trunk. Never know I can get a healing begins in the woods in case it come handy. But in return for our help, you have to let us see the drive marks. I never deny you that, Zeph. I guess that means I'm going to Beckett because I'm not such a piece into the woods if I don't have to. I'm sorry you cannot come to the grove with us. I'd hope to celebrate the Night Bloom Festival with you this year. I'm guessing that's some kind of nymph holiday. It's when we wake the magical plants in the forest up for spring. It's the reason the other nymphs are visiting to help. Bummer. That sounds like it would have been fun. It really is. There's dancing and delicious fruit, and I was a sapling. My parents used to dress in traditional ceremonial garb. Nasa pauses for a moment, her eyes going wide. Then a smile splits her face. That's it. If we're in an outfit like that, you'll be sure to impress the other nymphs and our elders. Then I'll be even more eager to help you hit the drive marks. I'm not against the idea, but I'm not sure what I have what you're thinking of in my closet. Our traditional outfits always grown is part of what connects them to us. I can go one for you right now if you like, then you can change it before we leave. Wear a traditional wood nymph outfit to earn the respect of the visiting nymphs and get their advice. You know, I was ready to turn it down, but you actually looks cool. Fuck you. Got a vanilla shake from McDonald's, so I'm happy. Just give me a moment. Ashley weaves her hands together, and she does. A black and gray outfit with golden leaf accents starts to form. Here you are. She passes the bundle of clothing to you, and you duck into the bathroom to change before returning to your friends. Damn, Elijah. This is gorgeous, Esther. Not to mention super comfortable. I'm so glad you like it. And you look so good in it too. Even better than I imagined. Designers clearly need to start looking at their wood nymph fashion, because you look incredible, Elijah. If it doesn't manage to impress the nymphs, I don't know what will. It's not exactly my style, but you are certainly pulling it off, Elijah. Is that all you have to say? I like how we keep teasing back at like. Is that all you have to say? You draw a finger down his chest, and his cheeks turn red. You know, I find you irresistible in almost anything, and this is no exception. It is still fine making you admit it. You pull him into a quick but passionate kiss, and when you pull away, he lingers for another moment before it rested against yours. That was not nearly enough, but I suppose it was sacrificed. But I suppose it would have to suffice. At least until later, when I can have it to myself, and then I can truly tell you just what that outfit does to me. That's everyone. But as and I should get going. We'll see the rest of you later. With that, you follow Aster out of the dining room and make your way out into the forest. And sip. Arriving at the wood nymph grove, Aster immediately leads you over to your father and grandfather. Papa, grandfather, I'm back, and I brought Elijah with me. Ah, Elijah. You weren't expecting you. But it's good to see you again. Sorry I haven't come for a visit in a while. Things have been kind of chaotic lately. So we have heard. I cannot say I fully understand this competition you are involved in, but it sounds challenging. Who is this? You turn to see two other mobile nymphs, both wearing clothing made from plants and watching you suspiciously. You brought an eternity to your groove? This is Elijah. He's a friend, Elijah. This is Elijah. He's a friend. Elijah, this is Sikora and Birch. They had different names in Blaze of Light and Shadow when we met them. But whatever. I just want to say how wonderful it is to meet you. I've lucky to know Aster for a few years now, but the only names I've had the pleasure to meet are the ones in this grove. So, in this grove, I'd love to hear more about what it's like elsewhere. We got a lot of snow back home in the grove, sometimes enough to cover our trunks. It just melted and let us make the journey down here. It must be hard to get around in the winter then, even if you're mobile. Why do you want to know about our movements? Why do you want to know about our movements? So you can attack our grove the same way your ancestors did? Some of are just curious about us, Iguana. But at least you dressed properly for the festival today. I didn't realize the town celebrated the night bloom. We don't. But Aster told me how important today was for you all, and I want to honor that. I'm trying to do the same voice for Sequona as I did the same character model in Blaze of Light and Shadow, aka Willow. But that voice is the same as Aster, and I don't know how to make it sound different, and I can't speak that high. So it is always nice to see a ton honor always. Yes, and we haven't worn such ceremonial garb in years. We appreciate the effort. So are you here to help us with the Night Bloom Festival? Actually, I was hoping to get some help. Aster said you're all very talented healers, and there's a creature I'm trying to heal right now. What creature is that? Dramar. I cannot even recall the last time I saw Trismar. I thought they had returned to the earth when they fell ill. All but 2 of them. But they were sick too, and so they were preserved and hidden away in hopes that someday they'd be healed. How like a ton to steal creatures into their home. To steal creatures from their homes. They did it to protect them. If they hadn't, then the dry months would really be extinct. Crossing their arms, Sequona turns back to you. Why have you taken up this cause, Tund? I doubt it is out of the kindness of your heart. It's part of this challenge to determine whether I or my brother is going to be the next leader of the Tund. But I do want to save this creature, and save the species, if I can. Then ask me this. What is magic to you? Magic is a part of me. It's always been there, even before I realized it, even before I knew magic existed. I don't know who I'd be without it, if I'd still be the same upbeat leader or someone entirely different. Sequona watched you for a moment. I was knit together in confusion. We never see our magic much the same way. That is reassuring to hear. Elijah's one of the kindest people I ever met. He really wants to make a difference for good in the world. I think you might actually be right. Yeah, well, Texas, if you can aid him, you should. But I recognize that he is not ultimately my choice to make. This is not ultimately my choice to make. Sequona and Birch back away, leaving you Aster, Yao, and Texas once more. We would generally prefer to stay out of the Tund affairs, especially those that involve their leadership. But there should be no harm in giving you some advice on how to best heal. That's perfect. I wasn't expecting to do any of the magic for me. I'm sure you're familiar with the potions and poultices often used to treat injury and illness. And magic that goes along with that. Based on what Contos has taught me, I believe that's wood magic and blood magic and occasionally fire as well. Just wood and fire these days, since blood magic is still banned. Any treatment should begin the healing you are familiar with. But should that not be enough, you must look into a creature's heart. I'm guessing you don't mean its literal heart in this case. No, but it would be better to say soul. Though heart and soul are the same word in your tongue. If you can understand the creature's desires and fears, that your healer can reach it. I think I understand. Maybe a demonstration would help. When we need to heal anything, we always do it that way, so even teaching Elijah simple mending out to do the trick. Is that a spell? We don't typically think of our magic in those terms, but for your understanding, they're similar enough. Mending is how we treat minor injuries, but can also be used to repair something that has been broken. I'm sure if you'll be able to learn it, Elijah, given our magics are so different. But if you believe it will help you heal these tremors, I'll be willing to teach it. I'll be willing to try to teach it. Learn the mending spell from Yabo to add it to your spellbook and get useful ability for the adventures to come. Sip. Sip. How is the spell more than the freaking outfit I'm wearing? Very well. I shall demonstrate the process to you and explain what I'm doing. And I'll try to put it in a ton terms. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I'll address this to a few leaves that have fallen to the ground and split in half. To begin, I start with the heart of the object. For this leaf, that is desire to grow, is love of sunshine. What I could also use is presumed fears, such as being crushed into even smaller pieces. Desires would use your wood magic, Elijah, while fears would probably use blood magic. Okay, that gives me some options. Then what? You must bring it what it requires to grow anew. Yama waves his hand, and he watches two pieces of a leaf slowly come together into one, as though it has never been damaged in the first place. Is that also wood magic? Well, almost everything we names do is wood magic by a ton standards. But in this case, I think the easiest way for you to cast it might be to use fire magic. Fire? But I didn't think wood names wanted anything to do with fire. We cannot conjure it the same way that your ton do. And as you have seen in the past, to try is quite dangerous. But fire is as much a part of nature as the animals and the trees. It is only its abuse that we disavow. Okay, but how do you use fire to heal if you can't conjure it? We draw on its remains, the nutrients it leaves behind in the soil that help us to drive. Why don't you go ahead and use a try, Elijah? So weird. Just have to feel the leaf's heart. Just have to feel the leaf's heart. And then I add even more wood. And use the remains of fire around us to help regrow. You reach into the ground all around you with your magic and draw in the richness of the soil and channel it into the broken leaf. You watch as, just like Yawa's leaf, the one you're channeling into slowly comes back together. And you look at that. Oh my goodness, you did nymph magic, Elijah. I didn't think it was possible. As trees, you never stop growing and never stop learning. Perhaps a ton are the same. I still think the bottom ones are the coolest. Minus the one we just learned. But like, just visually, the bottom three look cool. Anyways. I guess the shield one too. Yeah. Eventually, you were asked to return to campus and meet up with your friends and lead them down to the drive marks. About the time you get back, where have you been? Alex is still hunched over his trimmer, exactly where you left him. It doesn't look like he's made much progress. Do some research, get some advice, tell our friends what's going on. You know, the usual. I can't believe this is actually happening. I'm really gonna pet Drymore. Zeph rushes over to one of the Drymores as the rest of your friends shuffle in behind him. I see you brought everyone. Come on, not at this. You can't seriously believe you weren't going to get involved. We can't leave you to help these poor creatures on your own. I'll get to work on the policies. As Alice starts to talk with the others, Griffin remains in the doorway, yawning. Griffin, Are you still not getting any sleep? No, I've been sleeping. Just maybe not as much as I should be. There's just a lot of juggle between all my classwork and the job applications and helping you and Atlas in competition. Okay, that's it. I'm not letting you up with this. What? For you need to take care of yourself. You shouldn't be sacrificing your sleep just to lend us a hand. I don't want you sacrificing your grades or your job applications either. But this competition is important. And so are you. Look, I appreciate everything you've done for us these last few weeks. The ways you supported us. But now it's time for me to support you. And I'm doing that by telling you to get some rest. Can I at least still pet one of the dry moths? I will allow you to warm dry moth pet, then I'm making you go take a nap. Lead Griffin over to one of the dry moths, where you gently pet the creature's head before you forcibly steer him out the door. They return to your dry moth, kneeling down beside Zeph and Aster. Poor guy. He's really struggling. It's horrible. We have to help them. Well, we already know what Stone Trunk does to them, but let's see if we can figure out how it does it. First, we should figure out what kind of magic is causing problems. Focusing on the rainbow of emotions you feel when channeling your fascinating powers, you begin to examine the dry moth. But nothing resonates as you go over the trunk. That's strange. There's no real magic coming from it. Could it be a non-magical disease? I don't think so. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place. You continue up the trunk, and your identified spell finally resonates. Earth magic emanating from the area just above his mouth. Did you figure it out, Elijah? It's earth magic, and it's coming from his head, not his trunk. Elijah, Ellis, the policies are done. So, come and get them. You weren't supposed to. You know what, forget it. As you cross the room, Alice marches over to Beckett, grabs a bowl of poultice, and then goes back to her Sharmar. Any thoughts on where to apply this? The problem is coming for his trunk and beats his head. Well, given Dreadmore's anatomy, you could try putting some on the roof of his mouth. Maybe in his ears? They're connected to the sinuses after all. You turn to your Dreadmore. You scoop some of the poultice into your hand, rub it on the roof of the creature's mouth, as well as the inside of his ears. Looks like that's helping already. Now you just need to try the healing magic my dad and grandfather told you about. Right. I need to understand his heart. Place your hand on the Dreadmore's trunk, gently stroking it so reach for your magic. I know you're frightened and in pain. I can only imagine how scary it was, waking up someplace unfamiliar, being trapped in stone for years. Not to mention still hurting from that same disease that you had the last time you were here. I'm going to take care of you. With that feeling fresh in your mind, begin to weave your magic into the Dreadmore, focusing it all on where his trunk connects to his head. As you finish, the Dreadmore lets out a long breath, and his eyes slide shut, looking relaxed for the first time since continuously freed it from the stone. I think that might have done the trick, though it'll probably still need some time to fully take effect. I don't know about the rest of you, but I could definitely use a break. We can come and check on it in the morning. At the same time, Alice gets to his feet and stretches. I was just wrapping up here too. So maybe it's time for us both to call it a night. As you and Alice make the rest of your... Can you read? As you, Alice, and the rest of your friends make your way out the hidden chamber and then the blood-out classroom, Aster catches your arm. What's up? Is everything okay? Everything's great. It's just, I was about to head out for the Night Bloom Festival to meet up with Corona and Birch. And I was wondering if you'd like to join me. Are you sure to be okay with that? They didn't seem like my biggest fans earlier. That's part of why I want you to come. I think it'd be a great way to show how serious the Tund are about understanding of the culture. It might even help make your magic more powerful, since the Night Bloom Festival is all about growth. Well, that's to the Night Bloom Festival to learn about new culture and see more of their magic firsthand. I never realized she's wearing a white shirt. No more diamonds, please. That's what leads you out into the woods, where you eventually come upon a beautiful clearing. It is so beautiful, I don't want to tap past it. So, yeah, this is where the video ends. I'm just gonna stare at this the whole time. So, go ahead, roll along. I'm not reading anymore. Whoa, I left the app, came back, and it looks different now. I'll move on. Already there was Corona and Birch, whose eyes both widened as they landed on you. Arthur, I didn't realize you'd be bringing your 10 friend. I figured that after hearing all about it this afternoon, he would want to see what the night bloom was actually like. Well, it is refreshing to see an attendant with respect and interest for traditions. It's always nice to have another set of branches. I'm here to help with whatever you need. Just tell me what to do. We start by using our magic to awaken all the plants in this area of the forest, to let them know spring has come. Birch and I will start over here. If you all want to begin with the plants on your side. On it. I can't go higher than this, oh my god. You and Asta cross the clearing to the line of trees, your feet surrounded by flowers and mushrooms. So, how exactly do you wake up a plant? You just speak gently to it while you reach out with your magic. You'll know when it has worked. I know you don't normally wake at this time of night, but I promise it's for a good cause. You kneel down as you channel your magic into the tiny flowers that cover the forest floor. Slowly, all the ones nearby begin to open their petals, their insides glowing softly. Creating your very own golden hour, see? Just like that, Ledger. Keep it up. As after Corner and Birch all work their magic alongside you, the clearing fills with light, and you eventually all come together in the center. I have to say, I'm impressed. Seeing you away with nature, Elijah. Wes has been a good teacher for the last few years. That, I'm just following your lead. What's it like out there at school you and Asta attend? We have lessons back home, but nothing so formal. It's a really wonderful place where we study, have parties, and sometimes just hang out. And it's full of different kinds of people. I mean, one of our professors is a sitar. He's the one I'm studying under. And what about the rest of your friends like? Are they like you, Elijah, or different? Some of them are, but we're really a mixed bunch. We're a workaholic nerd who loves learning and being right. Beckett. That's Beckett. One of us is an absolute sweetheart who's trained to provide relief after natural disasters. And that is totally goofy and obsessed with sports. Griffin and Zev. And then there's our passionate and sometimes scary fashionista who runs her own business. That's Rhea. There's also Elijah's brother, Atlas. He's intense and competitive, but means well, at least most of the time. That sounds so different from the other names back home. Everything about your life sounds different. Birch, what do Williams do with their spare time? I know Nasta for a long time. I got the sense she's not exactly like most mobile nymphs. I agree with that. Elijah depends on the time of year. In winter, I'm mostly responsible for clearing snow away from my elders. Whereas in the summer, we'll have to bask in the sun and feast on berries. Are there other festivals during those times? The summer solstice is one of the most important. We wake up with the sun, don't rest until it sets. And on the winter solstice, we celebrate that the days will all be longer going forward. Then, to your surprise, a strangely calm music begins to play, and at the moment, you realize it's coming from the plants and trees all around you. I've heard about hills singing, but I didn't realize trees did. It's a way of telling us to wake and ready to dance. Aster's Corner and Birch all begin to sway back and forth to melody, the same way that trees might in the wind. Come, join us. Are the plants particular about the way we dance? I don't actually know. This is how we always danced. I can't imagine they would mind, as long as you participate. You follow the rhythm with the nymphs, letting your body sway slowly to one side and then the other. Well, Elijah, you know how to dance like us. It's only because it's far more relaxing than the most ton dancing. I don't know. I quite like the dance floor, the fountains they had for Umbrella Day. Fountains are these spouts of water that shoot up into the air. Water that defies gravity. Fascinating. As the music fades, nuts and fruits float down from the trees, and the flowers and mushrooms release clouds of pollen and spores. What's happening? Everything's blooming. I can't keep these voices up. Everything is blooming. Animals like rabbits and foxes come rushing into the clearing, snatching up the fallen food and darting off with it. At the same time, bugs like moths and bees flit through air, pollen and spores landing on their wings. Now these plants and trees will have a chance to spread. Sakura and I are also going to take some of the seeds home, so we can plant them and grow our own forests. But it's nice of you to come along and help, Elijah. Indeed. Perhaps you have to reach out to our town in our area, see if they would be interested in learning more about us. I can't speak for our town, but I'm sure there are at least a few out there. Sakura and Birch wander off again, filling a bag with various fruits, nuts, flowers, and mushrooms, leaving you and Aster alone. So, what did you think? This was so much fun, Aster. Thanks for inviting me. You and Aster help Sakura and Birch get a few more things before the two of you head back to campus. And sip. After saying goodnight to Aster, you're walking across the squad to get a late night snack when you spot a head of familiar white hair. Yes, we know who Alice is and what he looks like. We're about to call out to him when he stops at the statue and hurries down his hidden stairs. Maybe he just forgot something in the chamber and is going to get it. But following after Atlas, you arrive to find it once again, casting on his Trimore. Just need to give you another boost. I can't believe you would stoop to this just to win. Alice whirls around at the sound of his voice, his magic faltering. Elijah, what are you doing here? I was just checking up on my brother, who, turns out, isn't actually interested in the competition being fair. Now if it means he might not win. Alice looks between you and his Trimores, then crosses his arms and scowls. This is me making things fair. You're the one who's been using our friends' help get an advantage on every challenge. I seem to recall you using Beckett and Sraya's Paradise earlier today, the same as I did. It's not like you couldn't have done the same thing on the previous challenges, you just chose not to. Alice remains stubbornly silent. This is ridiculous. Can you see how this competition is changing you? It's like I don't even recognize you anymore. This is who I always been, Elijah. And if it's not, then I'm just becoming who I'm meant to be. Alice's refreshing magic flares as he snaps at you, and your own rises up in response. Someone who doesn't give a shit about what happens to anyone other than himself? I didn't think I would be swearing in this book, but like I wasn't expecting to swear in this book. Like, oh. Your magic build, filling the room when a loud trumpet-like noise suddenly cuts through it, drawing both your attentions. See both of the Trimores get into their feet, and as their wings begin to flap, they lift off the ground. They're healed? We did it. Suddenly, Loomis and Navi appear from the ether, both immediately rushing over to greet the other creatures. Ooh. Snick. What are you two doing here? They must have sensed the magic. Navi bats playfully at one of the Trimores' tails, and switches it back and forth in response. Loomis floats up beside the Trimore closest to you, and nuzzles their wings together. Cool. Wait, so it looks like an elephant with wings and big old non-elephant ears. But it moves Like a cow? Well, they seem friendly enough. You slowly make your way over to the dry mall you healed, and immediately bends its head towards you in acknowledgement. It's so round and fluffy. I just gotta touch it. You slowly reach forward and rub your hand along the dry mall's belly, which fur is soft as silk. Find one spot that makes its leg twitch excitedly, and a pleased rumble comes out of its trunk. So you look like a fine elephant, but you're in fact closer to a dog or cat. As you continue to rub its belly, the dry mall slowly lowers back to the ground, utterly content. Then, in a shimmer of light, continuously appears once again, looking between you, Alice, and dry malls. Unless I doubt you have both successfully carried the dry mall. But just to be sure, the air in the room suddenly feels heavy as continuously examines each of the creatures with blood magic. Then they turn back to you. There's no trace of the disease left on them. So, what happens to them now? I've already spoken with Dean Swan. It's a magical zoo that will take them in and begin a breeding and release program. But congratulations, both of you. But wait, who won? Because you were both able to save your Dreadmore, you both win this challenge. You reach one step closer to becoming the next High Tund. I didn't realize both of us could win. Now, I must take these creatures to the Dean. I'll be in contact about your next challenge soon. See, Atlas, you try to cheat, but we still both won. Continuously, and both the Dreadmores appear in a swirl of magic, but Alice is already marching outside, and you rush to follow him. Alice, you weren't talking. What you did back there wasn't fair. I don't have to defend myself to you, Elijah. We're competing with each other. Alice, we had an agreement. I said I was done working for the day, and you said you would too. Then you went back on that. We didn't formally agree to anything. Damn it. I thought we were past all this, Atlas. The lion, the anger. But I guess you care more about this competition than you do about me. Elijah. Alice seems taken aback, but he schools his expression a moment later. Well, that's the way you feel. Well, if that's the way you feel, then there's nothing else to say. Without another word, he turns on his heel and leaves you standing there, alone. Are things between us ever going to go back to the way they used to be? No.